That was one of the scariest wrestling botches I've ever seen. Like, I honestly thought that the best case scenario right here is a concussion. But Jeff Hardy is a one lucky son of a gun because he revealed that he's okay. You know, this spot actually looked worse than it was. Thank God. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys noticed that Jeff Hardy is doing a Swanton Bomb differently these days, and it's not a coincidence. This is Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb back in the day, and this is Jeff Hardy's Swanton Bomb right now. It doesn't hurt as bad, you know. Jeff Hardy is 43 years old, and doing the Swanton Bomb the other way is a bit more risky. Jeff Hardy also revealed that he's not doing a Swanton Bomb during live events anymore. Basically, the guy is protecting his body because he has issues with his lower back. But damn, I hope he's gonna be a bit more careful next time because this looked scary.
That's Cupcake.
Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Greatness of Raw. Now, people, I don't know how you guys feel, but lately I feel like WWE is getting a bit more boring. Now, I know I say this every 2 months, but I got this feeling again, you know, that wrestling is just boring, you know. Lately, I don't even know how to call my videos anymore because we don't get this big moment. You know, at least one big moment during a show where you're like, okay, there's something to talk about. And the next pay-per-view is TLC, which is, you know, just a B-level pay-per-view. Nothing is gonna change. But hopefully WWE will surprise us. Anyway, so let's talk about Monday Night Raw. I'm not really gonna get into it today. You know, I'm just gonna tell you what I liked, what I didn't like about the show, some of the highlights. And the show kicked off with Moment of Bliss. The special guest was Randy Orton. This was a weird ass segment, so basically the whole point was who's manipulating who? Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, or Bray Wyatt manipulating Randy Orton. The lads go out, we see The Fiend, and we see Alexa Bliss in Randy Orton's arms. And Randy says, who's laughing now? Yeah, it's pretty confusing honestly, but I guess the point is Randy Orton just made The Fiend beg in a way. You know, The Fiend never looked this desperate. So I guess in a way Randy Orton outsmarted Bray Wyatt. I'm not trying to sound like a dick, you know, I know this is a great rivalry and I'm actually excited for the match. I know these two can have a great rivalry because they already did, with some disappointments, like Worms, you know. But hopefully this time the match itself is actually gonna be good because I don't think they ever had a great match together. They always had great stories, segments, you know, promos, never a good match. And then we saw this Symphony of Destruction match. You know, I don't care about this rivalry, nobody does. But if that's the last match, well, I guess it kind of makes sense, you know, because the whole rivalry was about guitars and singing and instruments, and it didn't really make any sense because Elias knows that Jeff Hardy didn't really actually run him over because everyone knows that it was Sheamus. I don't know, man, this whole thing is very stupid. But we got the match and it wasn't that bad. Obviously these kind of matches are very cheesy, stupid. You know, I'm not saying it's bad, but it always reminds me of these, you know, WWE documentaries where they talk about how bad WCW got in 2000. You know, a rubber pussy on a pole match. And of course, we got this scary spot. And thankfully, he landed with his feet first, so the impact wasn't as bad. So I guess Jeff Hardy didn't get concussed or anything like that. During the show we saw Matt Riddle talking to his opponents and he's pitching ideas and talking about how he wants to get a WWE Championship opportunity, and he made some terrible jokes and he's so over the top right now. I get that the whole point is that he's high, but this guy is a joke. You know, I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this. We saw Slapjack versus Ricochet. You know, 2020 is weird when Ricochet got a full entrance. Yes, Ricochet did not get a jobber entrance. Whoa, what is happening right here? Good God almighty, I can't believe it. So we saw the match. Obviously, we got a lot of interferences, you know, and Slapjack won, yes. Like, at this point, Retribution is so bad, so boring. I kinda want them to fail, not necessarily fail, but to split. And then we see different gimmicks from each member because they still have some time to save their careers. This looks stupid. We got Miz TV with Sheamus, and that was actually one of the highest points of the show because They basically said, Drew McIntyre is your friend, right? What kind of a friend Drew is if he never gave you a WWE Championship opportunity? Because, when I'm gonna be a WWE Champion, John Morrison is gonna be first in line. Sheamus is laughing at The Miz, and The Miz went nuts. Kind of reminds me of that 2016 Daniel Bryan and The Miz segment on Talking Smack. He basically said, look at your career. The only thing that's funny is your career because it's a joke. When was the last time you held a WWE championship? He actually held the championship a lot more recently. I think it was 2015, and The Miz held the championship in 2011. So, not a good point. But anyway, we got a brawl. Sheamus got beaten up, but Drew and Sheamus are ready to kick some ass. I refuse to give a shit about this. The Hurt Business want one more opportunity at the WWE Tag Team Championships. Now, what's funny, you're like, okay, another match. Yeah, I mean, we saw that maybe they should win the championships, but why are we not getting number one contenders matches or anything like that? Well, the reason is we don't really have any tag teams on Raw. I've just noticed, I don't know, what do we have on Raw? Lucha House Party maybe? Like seriously, the tag team division is horrendous. We got Cedric Alexander versus Xavier Woods, in which Cedric Alexander won. So I guess they're gonna get the tag team championship opportunity. Surprisingly, it wasn't a main event, but we got the number one contenders match. AJ Styles versus Keith Lee versus Matt Riddle. A pretty fun match. I'm not saying Matt Riddle is bad in the ring. He's actually somewhat entertaining. I just don't like the guy. I don't know. Can't help it. Maybe it will change. I'll be honest though, I was too focused on Fernando right here. And the finish was okay. We got a phenomenal forearm, and AJ Styles is facing Drew McIntyre, which honestly sounds very good. Very predictable. I don't see AJ Styles winning at all, but I mean, I don't think they ever faced each other before, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. Hopefully it's gonna be a TLC match. A lot of potential. We got Reckoning versus Dana Brooke, in which Reckoning lost her mask. And Dana Brooke won. Yeah, whatever. So The Miz and Morrison gave AJ Styles a pie, and that's because they want AJ's help. And AJ is not stupid. He wants to help because, it's a lot easier to beat The Miz for the WWE Championship than Drew McIntyre. So I like that, it kind of makes sense. Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle is the next rivalry. Yeah, super excited about that. So we got the main event, a tag team match. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus Miz and Morrison. We saw AJ Styles on commentary, and this was an okay match. Didn't really feel that special, but the question is, will The Miz cash in? Which we know he won't, but that was still the whole point of the main event. Will The Miz cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase? I just don't see the guy as a WWE champion in 2020, the way he's being booked. So the match ended in a disqualification. We saw everyone beating the hell out of Drew McIntyre, and when The Miz was about to cash in, Drew stands up, we got a Claymore, the tall dude picks up AJ Styles, and we see, both staring at each other. And that's how the show ends. This show desperately needs a change. Maybe a crowd, once WWE will realize how much people don't care about a certain aspect of the show, a certain storyline, maybe they will change it, But right now, there's no feedback, so WWE don't know or don't wanna know what's good and what's bad. Like when it comes to audio, fan response, everything, WWE is in control, except the ratings. Anyway, people, thank you for watching The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.